Well, folks, we have a black and white movie, so you know what that means? Black and white review. I'm not sure how making that hand gesture makes things black and white, but with animated movies, you're allowed to cheat logic. So with Frankenweenie, Tim Burton hopes to make us forget about the travesty that was Dark Shadows by making a full-length feature based on one of his early shorts. Victor Frankenstein is this elementary school kid who's really fascinated with science. His best friend is his ever-so-reliable dog Sparky, who kind of has a bad habit of wandering off when he really shouldn't, and this kind of leads to a tragedy early on in the film. But through a science lesson in class, Victor gets an idea on how to bring his dog back, and if there's anything we know about kids, is their ability to pull off things that flat out should not work. So he miraculously brings his dog back, and there's really not that much plot after that. It's just that bringing back the dog triggers a series of events that leads to just the rest of the film. So from that point on, you're not entirely sure where this movie's going to go. And I really like this movie. Black and white was a great choice because I can't imagine this movie being as effective in color. It was very dark, but had like an innocent feel to it, and I really dug that. The stop motion was great. And it goes without saying that a Tim Burton movie looked good and had a great atmosphere, and Danny Elfman's score once again helps out a lot with that. And once again, a movie comes out in 3D, and I saw it in 2D, and I'm not cheaping out. It's just a timing conflict that I keep running into. And for the most part, I really like the characters in this movie. One of the things that turned me off from the trailer was that creepy-looking kid Edgar with like the over-the-top ghoulish voice. He didn't annoy me as much as I thought he was going to, but all the kids had like a range of personalities, and I found it pretty amusing. With Takashi being my favorite, like that kid was hilarious, and I also like the teacher. Now the movie is not without flaws. One of the problems with Tim Burton movies is that he does a good job of setting up his movies, but towards the climax, he just lets way too much happen and just loses a little bit of control over it. And it does happen here. Granted, I was more okay with it in this movie than I was in some of his others because I just love the build up to the climax in this movie. So when everything went crazy, I was pretty fine with it. And another thing that this movie does that Paranorman also did is just that when they have the townspeople turn into angry mobs for no reason, I hate that. In this movie I get it, it's because it's Frankenstein, but just the reason they do it in this one in the end was just kind of stupid. But flaws aside, I had fun with it. I would recommend it more for dog owners or former dog owners than I would for younger kids because there are some things that might scare them in it, but nothing too major. But for my money, I'm going to push and give this a 3.5 out of 5. So if this video actually ends up finding an audience, tell me what you thought of the movie. I welcome comments. And if you like this review just now, why not subscribe so you can get plenty more content.